What's going on, reptile lovers? My name is Matt Zephyr from Mystic Animals, and today I'm going to be attempting a new style of video, something that I've never tried before, and definitely some of my favorite content to watch on YouTube. And I'll name it Reptile Person Reacts because this is what we're going to be doing today. In front of me, I have a reptile video compilation. I have not seen this before, by the way. And in each of these clips, I'm going to be attempting to identify the animal that is on screen, dissecting the clip a little bit to try to get the motivation behind why the animal is doing the thing that it's doing, and overall reacting and probably laughing along because it seems pretty funny. Anyway, this intro's gone on for long enough. Cue the intro. So the video that I'll be reacting to is by a channel called The Pet Collective, and we seem to open on a shot of a leopard gecko that is climbing a dog. We'll see what this has to offer. Dog really seems unbothered. So leopard geckos are really common in the pet trade and they make a really good pet. You can see in that clip that its inquisitive behavior is definitely a selling point in why these geckos are so popular. And it's climbing a dog, which, as you all know, dogs make fantastic climbing platforms. Anyway, on to the next clip. So this seems to be a veiled chameleon attempting to grab some bubbles. And it's doing pretty well, and I honestly commend it. I think it's fantastic and super cute. Chameleons have actually really good eyes, and as many of you know, they can actually move in all types of directions. So for them, catching something midair is not super far-fetched, although I've never really personally seen one interact with bubbles. But it makes for a really good video, so let's move on to the next clip. Okay, so this seems to be another veiled chameleon, and this one is attempting to rope climb. Oh, or rope swing. Okay, so that was the Tarzan chameleon clip, and I think in the wild, chameleons are going to be really used to swinging and climbing and maneuvering through difficult terrain like treetops. So for them to swing on something, I don't think is that far-fetched because, let's all be reminded, vines are pretty swingy and moss is pretty swingy as well, right? Anyway, on to the next clip. So on screen now we have a crested gecko. We'll see what happens right now. Oh, that was a good jump. That was a really good jump. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to watch it again because that was just such a good jump. I think it's more of a plop than a jump, but amazing. The little command to jump. And then the plop. That was amazing. Such a good clip. Crested geckos are obviously among the most popular pet geckos that you can get on the market, comparable to the leopard gecko. But if you'd rather a tree-dwelling gecko to a ground-dwelling gecko, then crested gecko probably is the gecko for you. But keep in mind, as you saw in that clip, they do jump a lot. So be prepared to catch an incoming one because they're probably going to be leaping from your hand to another hand or to your shirt. And my gargoyle gecko, Pazuzu, actually does a lot of that as well. I guess you could say it runs in the family. Okay, so next clip. So here we have an iguana with a toy iguana. Oh, shh. Yep. That's why you don't want to put your fingers too close to an iguana when you don't know it. Because those of you who are from Florida will probably know that iguanas are a common sighting over there. You'll see them on golf courses or in resorts and all of that. And from afar, they'll look majestic, but albeit kind of dangerous. But when you see a clip like this and you see this iguana completely ripping this toy, you could only imagine what it would do to your arm, because that is not a fun time. And a lot of people wouldn't expect it, but iguanas can actually death roll just like crocodilians can. Also, Cherry, my Argentine red tegu, can do the exact same thing. Maybe it's something they put in the air in Brazil because they're all from there, so. Anyway, that's it for the iguana. Next clip. We seem to have a white throat sharing dinner with a lady. Now, why that piece of lettuce is on his plate, I have no idea, because monitor lizards do not eat greens. But it seems to be chomping down hella hard on some type of meat. You know, I don't know, but it appears to be cooked, so. Ignoring your fork, that's hilarious. So what more to say about that? These lizards definitely only eat meat. Just like my monitor lizards, they can have a really good personality. And although I've never seen one eating on a table just quite like that, I do think that it makes for a really good clip. And now on to the next one. Whoa, hold on a minute. I'm so sorry to interrupt your content, but we just launched our brand new website for our Zoo to You experiences. So if you're in the Ottawa Gatineau region, don't hesitate to visit mysticanimals.com. Now back to the video. So these are giant day geckos, and they're pretty interesting. I don't actually keep any of them because despite their name being giant day geckos, they're only like this long with the tail, so a little smaller than what I'm used to and would like to get invested into. But a lot of people will keep a bunch of them in the same enclosure, and you know, it makes for a pretty interesting, colorful display. But these ones seem to be collaborating to get food, so oh, a little bit of bullying right there. But yeah, that's what happens when you feed outdoor geckos, because those look like outdoor geckos from somebody that lives within their range. And lizards are really opportunistic animals, so if you do end up feeding them, they will come back and you'll be trapped in a cycle where you'll have to feed them because they'll just be omnipresent on your property, which is not necessarily the best thing, so don't necessarily go and do that. Anyway, moving on to the next clip. So we have another chameleon, a lot of chameleons in this episode. And this one is focusing on the water. It's going to grab it to try to climb up on it and doesn't understand that it's liquid. Yep, that's a pretty good clip. Yep, 10 out of 10. I have nothing more to say. So while I said earlier that chameleons have great vision, they're not necessarily among the smartest lizards on the planet. Like monitors, for example, they would be able to tell that that's liquid falling and not necessarily a surface to climb up. It's just important in these moments to remember that it's not because this chameleon has difficulty understanding the world around it that it's dumb, because I'd love to see you try to shoot your tongue out to get a fly midair, because that seems like something that would require a lot of practice. And they have it just like that. So, next clip. So we have a dog and a bearded dragon on the sofa. The dog just spots the beardy. Oh, you should probably separate them at this point. I would definitely separate them at this point. It seems like Bean saw the dog on the screen. Look, Bean, look. Okay, so we're gonna be looking. There's a dog. There's a dog. Look, it's okay. There's a dog and a lizard. There's a dog and a lizard. Yes. Good girl, Bean. Good girl, yes, you didn't bark at the dog. She's been having a lot of issues with that, even if they're on video, which she understands videos. She watches TV with us all the time. But she happens to also want to bark at the dogs that are on screen sometimes. So, forgive my co-reactor here because she wanted to be a part of this reaction video. Yes, you did. And I'm not really going to comment on this video because if it was me and my bearded dragon was opening its mouth and my dog was doing these kinds of behaviors, I would definitely not let them cohabit right next to each other like that without a barrier, or at least me holding one of them so that they can't just lunge at each other. So anyway, that made me anxious. On to the next clip. So we have a sand boa, and soon we won't have a sand boa. Oh, it poked his head out. Oh, that's so cute. But this also just illustrates how freaking placid sand boas can be, because sand boas are among the only snakes that can't actually hold their own weight if they're off the ground, which will result in you holding like a wet spaghetti that can't really hold itself up straight. They're built that way not because they're dumb, again, because they're built for fossorial lifestyles, which means that they spend most of their time underground. That way, gravity doesn't affect them the way that it affects us, so they don't need as much bone strength. Anyway, that was a great clip. Makes me love sand boas even more, and we're probably going to get one of those eventually, guys. That was refreshing. On to the next clip. Okay, so next up we have a beautiful panther chameleon. Like, such a beautiful example of a panther chameleon. Like, among the prettiest of all the chameleons, and you probably shouldn't shake its hand like that. I'm just... Oh, now it's holding on to you. Yep. Yep, he's not gonna give it back. Nope. Yep. That's what happens when you mess with a chameleon. Oh no, you don't give it another finger. Oh, now you're really trapped there for real. The chameleons have a different type of hand, as you guys probably saw through this clip. It's more akin to like pinchers, because they're gonna use it to pinch and like surround the branch that they're trying to climb up on, right? And at the end of these little pinchers is little nails that will be going into your skin, whether you like it or not. Handling a chameleon is never really a pleasant experience because of that. And bigger ones hurt a lot more than smaller ones, as you would probably expect. So this chameleon at this size, which is a at least this big animal, can probably make you bleed when it's holding your fingers. So I'm not at all surprised that you can't get your fingers back. Rumors have it that she's still there with her fingers caught in her chameleon. We at Mystic Animals send you a wave of support because I don't know how you go to the bathroom like that. So anyway, on to the next clip. So in this next clip, we have one of my favorite animals on the entire planet. We have a green sea turtle, and we're gonna see what it does right now. It's really close to the divers, man. Like, that's a once-in-a-lifetime dive. Wow. Wow. I cannot find words in the English language that could describe how much I would want to be on that dive right there. Green sea turtles are unfortunately on the endangered list, and the very fact that you can still find them today in the wild is a needle in a haystack. So these divers got incredibly lucky. They got to see it from a distance that they could probably reach out and touch it, although I would advise that you don't. Not because it's going to hurt you, obviously, because it won't, but because it is an endangered animal, you don't have all of the rights that come with it. You can't touch all of the animals on this planet. And lines and borders in the oceans are a little bit muddy, but you might not know that you are in a nature preserve at this moment when you're floating by. So the rule in the water is don't touch anything that you don't for sure know is not on the endangered animals list. On to the next clip. So the next clip is a lizard of some kind, appears to be a Euromastix. And you are bugging it? Yep. Yep. It'll flip over. Yep. So that might seem like a fun game between pet and owner, but it's actually signs of a very distressed Euromastix who probably gets that done to him multiple times a week, because most Euromastix will get used to their owners pretty quickly. Even Mushu, which is my Nigerian Euromastix, isn't the biggest fan of me, but has never let himself be on his back in the enclosure in order to try to get me away. So then I think it's mostly just fear, which in turn makes this video not as funny, but I guess it is funny if you don't know much about lizard behavior. Alright, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to hit that like and that subscribe button because it really helps us out. Also, let me know in the comment section, did you enjoy this type of video? Not gonna lie, it was really easy to film, so maybe we're gonna do more of these. If you guys are interested, that is for sure. Also, first link in the description is the Discord server, and that's the #1 place where you can connect with the rest of our community. There's a question of the day that you can answer every day, and a place where you can post all your reptile memes, and it's 100% free all the time. My name is Matt Zephyr. This is Bean. We are Mystic Animals. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. Thank you so much for checking out this video, everybody. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like button, and if you really loved it, why don't you subscribe? It's free, you know?